What are the spookiest audio or video clips on the internet? Operation Wandering Soul. The US government was coming up with new ways of luring the Viet Cong out of the jungles during the Vietnam War. They came up with this disturbing and creepy audio recording of what sounds like spirits of the undead calling out to the Viet Cong. The US military would play this audio at night to try to bring out the Viet Cong from their hiding spots and demoralize them. Just imagine being in the middle of a jungle late at night and hearing that on full blast, not knowing where it's coming from or what it is. I studied this for a project years ago, as well as the Chi Hoi program. We had to teach middle school kids about our project, and it's safe to say some are probably still scarred. One of the professors walking around happened to stop by our booth, and by the time he heard our speech and listened to the recording, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. And if you think it's bad, have it translated. It plays on their religious beliefs and makes everything so much worse. What does it mean in Vietnamese? Buddhist funeral music. Daddy, Daddy, come home with me, come home. Daddy, Daddy. Who is that? Who is calling me? My daughter. My wife. Your father is back home with you. My daughter, your father is back home with you. My wife, but my body is gone. I am dead, my family tragic. How tragic, my friends. I come back to let you know that I am dead. I am dead, I am in hell. Just hell. It was a senseless death. How senseless, but when I realized the truth, it was too late, friends. While you are still alive, there is still a chance that you can be reunited with your loved ones. Do you hear what I say? Go home. Go home, friends, hurry. If not, you will end up like me. Go home, my friends, before it is too late. Go home. Go home, friends. VED. VED ban. VED. VED. Stephen McDaniel being interviewed on the local news about his missing neighbor, who he had killed and dismembered, and learning mid-interview that her body had been found. The link also contains footage that he shot of the victim through her window the night he killed her. Is he the one that sat motionless for hours during the police interview? Like they sped up the tapes and the two cops were moving all over the place, but he just sat nearly motionless the entire time. Cops also said when they went to search his place, he drank 10 glasses of water and proceeded to sweat everywhere. LMAO. Dude could not keep his cover. Maybe he just likes being hydrated. I find the WW1 battle sounds to be scary. It's just extremely loud sounds of firearms going off and artillery crashing down, but you can't make out one single shot. They're all clumped together in what sounds like hell. To think soldiers would endure this during a battle for hours, days, even weeks at a time makes me feel for the poor soldiers. Edit. Since this is blowing up, I recommend increasing the volume of the video up to the max and listen with your eyes closed for the full immersion. I'd also recommend this video that visualizes the brutality of the war and the effects, shell shock and injuries, it gave on the men, with a mixture of real footage from WW1 and recreational films based on the war. We are not in a hole. Nothing will get us out of here. But we have eaten, we must relieve ourselves. The first of us to feel the urge climbs out. He has been there for 2 days now, 10 feet away, killed, with his trousers down. We crap on paper and throw it up and out. When we have no more paper, we go in our haversacks. The Battle of Verdun continues, we go in our hands. Dysentery flows between our fingers. We crap blood. We go where we lie. We are devoured by flames of thirst. We drink our own urine. If we remain on this battlefield, it is because they won't let us get away. Jean Jono. I remember one audio of a woman screaming while a chimpanzee was eating her face, or something like that. I heard it a long time ago, so I don't remember the details. Her friend was on the phone begging for help and the call was recorded. I don't remember the audio itself, but I do remember I felt terrible after hearing it. Yep. She lost her eyes, lips, face, ears, fingers, nose. It really ducked her up sadly. In the call you can hear a classic chimpanzee screech and the dispatcher thought it was fake but sent an officer there. The chimp tried the passenger door of the police car, locked. The chimp then punched the mirror off and started his way to the driver door and the officer shot the shit out of the chimp and it ran inside and died by its cage. I remember it from years ago as well. I'd be terrified of chimps if they just roamed around. If I remember right, the owner had given the chimp Xanax to calm it down. And apparently Xanax doesn't have the same effect on chimps as it does humans. Xanax is a legit bite disinhibitor. I got a script for my dog because he flips out in thunderstorms and got warned by the vet. Kind of like how some people are angry drunks and some aren't. This phone call that the Golden State Killer made to one of his previous victims. For those too nervous to venture, it's a short clip of a woman saying hello. Then loud breathing and whispering, 3 times, "Gonna kill you." Pretty spooky. If I received that call, the next call on my log would be the cops. Well, turns out he was the cops. Wait, that's illegal. He can't do that. Shoot him, or something. 2003 Station Nightclub concert. Pyrotechnics were used irresponsibly, causing foam to catch fire, which then spread to the surroundings and engulfed the building in flames within a matter of minutes. 100 people lost their lives. So many things in this video still give me chills when I think about it. The screams, the sheer magnitude of it all, and the time it took people to register what happened. www.youtube.com watch, VND per 9 UGT 227S. And how quickly it all happens. 1 minute there's smoke, then people crammed in the doorway, then screaming, then nothing. All within like 5 minutes. Completely wild, but a good lesson in the dangers of fire. The one that messes with me is the video of that one senator committing suicide because of some allegations. Very messed. Bug Dwyer. He was Pennsylvania treasurer. Russian ghost radio station has always creeped me out. No one knows who runs it or why. It just makes odd sounds and every once in a while someone will speak. The Russian ghost station edit. Example. I feel like there is a major difference between something spooky and the depressed for days stuff people are posting. Hey everyone, post some cool spooky videos. Everyone, how about this audio of children being tortured? For real. I just want to see videos of aliens or Bigfoot. Morbid isn't necessarily the same as scary. You ever heard an Aztec death whistle before? You won't forget it quickly. YouTube.com. Death whistle. I'm not even a very religious person, but the audio from the exorcism of Annalise Michel chills me to the bone. You can find it on YouTube. She went through 67 exorcism sessions, 1 or 2 each week, lasting up to 4 hours, were performed over about 10 months in 75-76. Later investigation determined that she was malnourished, dehydrated. Her parents, the priests responsible, were charged with homicide. She was treated horribly. I got to know about the case from the movies. Her treatment was horrible to watch in the movie itself, but watching that clip was a totally different experience. The debate on her mental state versus possession aside, a woman was being legit tortured. I know that we did the right thing because I saw the sign of Christ in her hands. She was bearing stigmata, and that was a sign from God that we should exorcise the demons. She died to save other lost souls, to atone for their sins. Anna Michel, Annalise's mother, 2005. Also there were 4 defendants, Father Arnold Renz, Pastor Ernst Alt, and Annalise Michel's parents, Joseph and Anna. All four were found guilty of negligent homicide and sentenced to 6 months in prison, suspended with 3 years probation. Edit, little girl woman she 23, thanks to the one who pointed that out. 6 months in prison, suspended with 3 years probation. WTF, like a slap on the wrist. The 911 calls. There's 2 disturbing ones from the towers where people die on the phone, one where an Asian woman suffocates and becomes engulfed by flames and another where the building collapses on a man. Also, in the 1970s a park guest recorded audio of a Disney employee being crushed to death. Update links, 911, Kevin Cosgrove crushed to death on phone, U2.B Melissa Doi suffocates from smoke on phone, full recording never released U2.B Disneyland. Note, though the incident is real, I've been told that the audio scream heard in the video is an overlay. America sings crushed to death, U2.B the Disneyland attraction is a rotating theater. As the theater was changing scenes, she was caught in between the pillars and was completely crushed. Here is a good video on the history of that ride. U2.B linked to another thread with a bunch of freaky shit. https www.reddit.com AskReddit commencer 0 thquatis creepiest audio recording sa you have. Source shared media maya saputne my awesome. I only listened to one, which was a man essentially telling the emergency services to hurry the duck up. In normal circumstances you'd say he was an asshole, but you can hear the fear in his voice. Then just an oh god, then the call gets cut off. That's the one I thought of when I saw this thread. Everything about that clip is devastating. He's completely losing it while the 911 operator clearly knows there's no possible way to help and is just trying to calm him down before he's inevitably killed, and then that scream that just gets cut off at the end. It's something I can't forget no matter how hard I try. Imagine being the 911 operator, the nightmares you'd have. I've heard that it's quite common for emergency operators to get PTSD from the calls they have to deal with. My neighbor is a former EMT and had to retire very early due to PTSD. The things she saw, mostly involving children. My mom was a paramedic for over 20 years. Definitely ducked her up. One of her first calls was to a house with 2 young children where the brother had shot the sister in the head while playing with a gun. We weren't allowed to even mime like we had guns when I was growing up.